You saw where Mobutu was living, a very, very luxurious place, and how it is now. Kodolite, go, where is it now? Go see where Samuel Doe were living, really big stuff, mansion and everything. Now it looks like a place where drug and thieves and all these people are sleeping. It shows you that. It tells that material, that the money that you're taking from the people is not important, If you want to leave a legacy to your people, is to do the right thing for them, is to think about them. What have you leaving for them? The legacy. We have to think about life. We don't think life. Okay? You go to hospitals, we don't think life. You go to hospital, they will ask you, give us the money first before you start the treatment. It is not acceptable. Why are they going to school of medicine when they are supposed to do the Hippocrates? The Hippocrates, I don't know how you say Hippocrates. A sermon, I don't know how you say that in English. In French, we say the Sermon d'Hippocrate. You have to, when you swear, you know that you come to save lives first. Okay? Now we give you another example, and you will see why, in some way, you cannot always blame every time the other people, okay? The other countries. And, recently it happened, there was a crash, a collision, I will say a crash on the Potomac River, above the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a river that is, it goes through the Washington, D.C. I think it also go to Maryland, I think, and it was very cold. That night, there were passengers on American Airlines, okay? And it was, I think, somewhere in Washington D.C. So there was a helicopter who crashed the airline. So you have talked about 67 passengers who died, and they're already searching. They have been searching for the body since the first day. Like I told you last time, life in these countries are important. Okay, lives in these countries, lives are important. They will explain to you. They will search the reason why. The president will come, issue statement, he will explain to you, and he will also say, we need answers, okay? That's how a great country that, okay? So I will show you something. Donald Trump is right here. He come to talk about the situation. He came here for 67 lives.
Together we take solace in the knowledge that their journey ended not in the cold waters of the Potomac, but in the warm embrace of a loving God. We do not know what led to this crash, but we have some very strong opinions and ideas, and I think we'll probably state those opinions now. Because over the years I've watched as things like this happen, and they say, well, we're always investigating, and then the investigation 3 years later, they announce it. We think we have some pretty good ideas, but we'll find out how this disaster occurred, and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. The FAA...
You heard? That nothing like this will happen again. Okay, let's go.
And the NTSB and the U.S. military will be carrying out a systematic and comprehensive investigation. Our new Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, his second day on the job when that happened. It's a rough one. We'll be working tirelessly. He's a great gentleman. The whole group these are great people, and they are working tirelessly to figure out exactly what happened. We will state certain opinions, however. I'm also to the FAA, Christopher Rocheleau, a 22-year veteran of the agency, highly respected, second term. The FAA is...
So you see that the president of the United States himself, so Donald Trump, he came out in front of the journalists. He said we have to find the reason, the cause. We need to have answer, and we have to think how it never happened again. Okay? How it never happened again. If you talk like that, if someone like that, we talk like that to your authorities in countries like mine, people will say that you are arrogant, or you are a troublemaker, or you are a problem, or you are a threat, sometimes something like that. But for them to invest in secret services to spy and all this, they will put all the money for the protection of the people. Is what happened in many countries. In Africa, they cannot. So lies are not really important. So I'm coming here because when we are a country, we have what we call judgment of the nation. Okay, God also judge countries, nations. Okay, so it's a huge responsibility to be a president or to be people of the higher authorities and government, because you are in your hands somehow lives of these people that who vote for you. You are supposed to serve them. They're not supposed to serve you. And this is what happened. So I gave you 2 examples, and you saw yourself that the difference between how the other thing was rendered. I say that the authorities in, like, for example, they just came, they said they want memory. They put a little bit in memory of those who are dead. But the family said we don't need it. We need the reason, we need justice. What happened and how it will never happen again, which are very decent questions. But when you go, it's something I really noticed. Human life are not important. Even worse, animal lives are not important in our continent. Only when we want something, when for example you have a subvention, you have a country from the West who are coming to give you money for protection of animals, of wildlife. But when you see that, you ask yourself a question. So the people who voting for them are also special. Because in the case of my country, for example, when the president came, the day people were mourning, crying, and praying, I was surprised that, because I was expecting them to show their anger and their disappointment to the president. None of them, no man had a crystal box to talk to the president man to man. None of them. When he came, Mr. President, they were like, Mr. President. That's all they did. Forgetting that if we are in this situation, it's because of his government. Okay? But I say we are not there yet. We are too far behind. Our mentality is too low. We are ready to take any breadcrumbs, and we are okay with the breadcrumbs. We don't mind. And it's sad. When we deserve more than breadcrumbs falling from the table, we are okay with it. I give you a few examples. In Europe, okay? In Europe, I remember in France, for example, I will take France because that's a country I know a little bit more. I remember there was a situation where presidents, I don't know if it was Macron or François Hollande or Sarkozy, the president, one of them, were walking in the crowd, and a lady, slapped the president on the face. Slap. This is European, the white people, see, in their own country, slapping the president. I don't say that it's good. But when you see a woman, a lady doing that, it's because it's like it's in French, ras le bol. Enough is enough with your politics. You think you are making us ridiculous in the eyes of the world, and we don't think that the way we vote for you, we don't deserve what we are going through. Let's slap him. Another French president also, I think it was Sarkozy this time, even Emmanuel Macron had it. Someone took flour, put on the president's head, like that. Or sometimes they confront the president, they talk to the president man to man. So when people say Africans are courageous, I never saw it. I never seen African talking to the president like they are men. Crystal balls. You talk to men. You are a man, talk to another man. I never seen that. Never. But I see with white people, they do it. In America, they are a little bit more passive, but in Europe, they don't play. They do not play. I think it was a country, I don't know it was which country in East Europe, I don't know which country it happened. The deputies They were coming out of the session. Instead of voting for the interest of the people who voted for them, they barely do the job. When they came out, you know what the people did outside of them? They put the deputies, they held them tight. They put them in the trash can. Deputies of that country, they grabbed them, they carried them, they put them in trash cans. What does that mean? It's a statement that you are supposed to do the job, but you do nothing, so you are trash for us. You are garbage. They put them literally in trash can. Have you seen that in Africa? With all the abuse that you are going through, sometimes by our authority who don't even care about us. I've never seen that. But what we do instead is dancing for them. We are dancing for president, we are dancing for minister, we are dancing for them, receiving them. When we know that they're not doing the job properly, when we know there is corruption, when we know there is money, stealing money, when we know they live better than us, while we're living with breadcrumbs, but we are dancing for them. We are dancing for them. It's sad. It's very sad. You go to hospital, you want to cry. I remember I went to see a friend of mine, and I don't know, he was at the hospital, and it was in another African country. But when I saw him, I knew it was the end. I knew it was the end. So you see, even hospital, for hospital to be clean, for hospital to look like a place that you can still live, livable, we say like that, it's too much to ask. Minister of Health Department, where are you? Why don't you go out and sit and look like nurses are working? Yeah, it's unfortunate if Africans are lazy sometimes to work. Some of them are really hard working, but you see, my country, I saw that how nurses will be sitting, midwives. I was next to a woman, I didn't know she was giving birth. The midwife was talking about their relationship, laughing, eating, while the woman was between life and death. They were sitting here. Me, I was crying because I saw how cold heart these women were. African, black. But I guarantee you, if these midwife or nurses were white, I guarantee you they would take care of that black African properly. God doesn't bless people just to bless her. God bless because He look also our hearts. I don't know how many people can do the job. I remember there was a time, it was the old days before women were doing the job of nurses and everything. But today, it's like someone knows someone, he put the document, oh, she's my family member, put her, she'll be a nurse, and that person is not competent to do the job. You have doctors, fake doctors with fake certificate or degrees, because they belong to the system in place, they are sitting there. Africa must change. You see it's changing, there is no change. If all these systems like that, it's not breaking to get better. If it's changing like that, I will believe. But still, no. You know, when I saw what happened in Washington DC, when I saw the president coming, I remember about my country, I was like, yeah, we are too far from it. We are too far from it. Okay? Thank you for watching.